So hopefully by the end of this session, you'll have a system that keeps you, updated with those product terms. Um, while also this system can help you with outputs throughout your journey as you're designing through stuff. So right from the state where you are thinking about what to build to finally deploying something, um, I'm going to share a repository with you towards the end, so that you can use it and then see how things go. So, all right, again, like the last session, please chill out. I have a lot of things to share. If you are scared about AI, don't worry because I've got you. Quick introduction about me. I think I'm gonna give you a brief about who I am. I am Shresht. I am a designer turned founder. I've been working with robots for the past 6 years or so now, and most of my experience has been into designing drone systems. And now it's slightly changed because I've been working with a lot of different robotic systems. But I was born in a city where people say pehle aap, Lucknow, and then slowly transition into a different city altogether where everyone says pehle main, Delhi. Um, I've been here most of my life. Been to Dehradun and I think Bombay for 2 years. So yeah, that's pretty much it. I did my bachelor's in product design. I worked in different industries, and then finally settled on drones. And then I quit my job. I was tired. I wanted to do something on my own because I was putting in so much effort. I wanted to do something for my own self. And when you're putting in so much effort, the question sort of comes up that why are you doing it for somebody else? So that's why I quit my job. I traveled for a while. I tried my hand at mentorship on ADP list. I was very active in between I think 2022 to 2024. um, then I built a community here in Delhi NCR called Open UX. Tried my hand at freelancing, didn't like it that much. Um, Built an NGO from ground up. It was into teaching design to these college students. So I was already in that founder mode, and then I, started my own agency, and we sort of made a pivot along the way. But the company is still called Osiflow, and after that agency model, we switched into a HMI design sort of a product, which I'm building. So it's been almost a month now since we've launched. Um, but we're going to start off with alpha testing probably by 26th or 27th of this month. So probably like by Wednesday or so. But more recently, I went to Microsoft UX Day and then went to Claude event. So I try to gain a lot of context in terms of what all people are doing and what all people are learning so far, so that I can help you out much better because then I'm sort of updated with all what is everybody thinking about. One of the problems that I initially felt was a lot of people don't understand Claude. That's why the previous session happened. Um, and in this session, I am going to cover a lot of things right from the core of like product thinking, which is like basically like the theory part of everything, to more of like a hands-on version so that you can also look at it. The whole point of this session again is just to nudge you towards a direction so that you think about the product more when you are designing things. Um, but at the same time, not lose touch with it because AI is sort of helping you out amplify things. So um, again, at the end of the day, the goal is to just keep in mind that you're actually at the end of the day a designer. You're thinking about the product, you're thinking about the experience, um, but then using this as like an amplified version in terms of whatever your understanding is, but not changing your core of who you are. So remember who you are at the end of the day. And yeah, so I think today's session is more about what type of a language um, we are talking about. So before we begin, I think I'm gonna have like an open session with you guys because with like a small group of people. So what do you think is product thinking, and where do you think product managers differ from designers? Open break. Anybody can take the floor.
Mainly because they understand product metrics better than us. They understand business little bit better than us. Not little bit, but very
Mm-hmm.
much better than us. So I
Mm-hmm.
think these are the two domains where they have a hand above us. Apart from that, I
So,
would say they often go to the market. They look at competitors very often, not from a design perspective, but in terms of what they are doing, why they are doing, and that. So
mhm.
these are the three things I would say.
And what about product thinking? What do you think is product thinking?
I would say product thinking, again, not a textbook definition, but somewhat I have seen in action based on that is that it is the part where they look at the market, they look at user needs, business goals, and then they come up with something that can fulfill all three of that. It can be a product, it can be a feature.
Mm-hmm. Okay, I see. Anybody
I
else?
think
Yeah.
product assets they may tell you that they beyond the user. So designers as such like will have some restrictions. Still they consider only the user. Whereas if you want a product manager, you go above and beyond from the inception. You go to sales, you go to customer support, and it just not stops there like most of the end. So pretty much something like that I would say. And from idea to launch and beyond that, that's what I
Mm-hmm.
think the manager or public management wants. Also, prioritizing the current situation or the features what we have in par with trends and business cycles and how the quarters are behaving. That's something which I think is the unique thing for product people, apart from the designers and engineers.
Okay, I
It's
see.
really sense.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, makes sense. Rishabh, anything?
Yeah, like I wanted to give it with an example. So let's say in this project that I'm working on in my company, so we are like about six people along with my design manager. So like why my design manager is different from us because since I have 3 years of experience and I have gotten let's say a part of that project because the project is whole around close to 600 screens or so for a healthcare
Mm-hmm.
project. So
Mm-hmm.
when I was working on any of the screens in that, and if in the design review call or in our follow-up meetups, so if I showcase those things to my design manager, uh, like regarding this thing that I'm going to change this layout from here to here, he immediately tell that if you are doing this thing here, then that screen in that particular module will change and how this will differ that way. So he knew that if you are changing this button here on the screen 7, so how it will impact the screen 70th. So he
Mm-hmm.
knew the whole architecture of that product. So that's why like I believe this is what product thinking is for them. So you know whole project or let's say whole product from first screen to the last screen, how it is stitching together.
Right. Yeah, I mean, yeah, great points. Great point, guys. Um, so again, not a textbook theory or a definition, but in my assumption, the the major difference lies in terms of them thinking every day differently. Um, one person who is a designer, he's thinking about what looks right, what doesn't look right. But these product people are thinking about numbers, they're thinking about outcomes, they're thinking about what are the trade-offs that they want to make every day because they want a business to succeed. So yeah, I think everybody is on the same right track. But yeah, I think today's session is more about how do you bring in that change of how do you think about those outcomes, those numbers, those decisions, etc. And then talk in that language, basically. Um, this is something that Lisa said, and it's like a very famous quote because at the end of the day, there's a big difference in terms of how the power is balanced. Because at the end of the day, these product managers are people who are much closer to business. And when they are much closer to business, UX people or UX in general in a different product is not valued that much because At the end of the day, a business has to succeed and they have to grow the numbers. They need to bring in more revenue, which UX essentially can't be tied to right away as compared to like product manager. So um, there's a big uh, problem in terms of how the power is balanced out there. And us designers, we sort of have not much say in a lot of things, and that's why probably we're always sort of left out from that seat at the table where major product decisions are taken in like at least small startups. Not sure about big companies though. Um, but yeah, everybody knows this company. Is there anybody who doesn't know
Duolingo, right?
Duolingo?
Right. So the
Yes,
Duolingo, yeah.
yes, exactly. So I'm going to talk about an example of Duolingo. How many of you have used Duolingo?
I have used.
Yeah,
You've used? Okay. Do you remember the streak feature which is there?
yes,
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. So, when Duolingo was like initially released, um, designers hated that streak feature because it was like very bad in design, and it felt like said that it was like more like a very cheap sort of a decision that had been brought to this educational tech world. So they pushed back hard, but the PM said something else. PM said that we did not want to like just look at the design itself because we're looking at numbers. And when they ran that one number, how many users actually come back to the platform again? It was twice the number of users which were initially there. So that's like a big move when you're thinking only about numbers. And today, I think Streak is probably one of the best features out there on Duolingo, and it is something that also keeps people engaged throughout the platform. So the change was not just 10%; it was twice that number, and the main metric which people were tracking, the North Star which was there, that changed drastically. So yeah, imagine 500 million users and building a feature which designers did not like, which PMs actually ran the number for, and then realized that this is like a game changer thing in terms of how people are adopting it. Had it not been for that number, the number would have been just 250 million users. That's like 250 million users less, exactly half. So we don't have to like fight that number. We just have to like understand it. Um, as designers, I feel a lot of our thoughts go into what our instincts say right away about that feature that we build. But at the end of the day, the the data points are like the answer to everything, and that is why a lot of fights also happen in a lot of offices because the product manager is thinking purely from the product standpoint, while we are like those advocates of design that we need to bring in XYZ change because the user is not feeling XYZ. So I think there has to be some compromise at the end of the day that we both have to make. I can't convince PM people to learn more about design, but I can definitely um, help you out, figure that product aspect out. I think it's about time we connect some dots. What did the PMs actually do differently? And this right here is probably one of the most important frameworks in this session. Um, I just broke that entire thing down about how do you actually think about this. So you have a design decision that somebody took, and that design decision influenced a user's behavior, and it was tracked by a metric and then a business outcome. So every single thing that you do starts in this chain itself. Your decision itself mainly lies in like the first part because as designers we are always thinking about what do we do for that user, but the difference comes in when your product managers come in because at the end of the day these product managers are not just thinking about like a single standpoint, like the initial part. They are the ones who are thinking about everything right from the beginning itself. So while we focus on the first part, They are focusing on the entire chain altogether. So they are always asking what will the users do, how will the numbers change, etc. And there's a prompt gap that I felt when I was in those two different rooms. Um, when I was in the Claude room, I was trying to understand how are people prompting things. Um, and when I was in the design room, I was also looking at how people are prompting things because those things came up in like different discussions. One of the key things that I felt, very sadly though, was that a lot of designers are just thinking about how does it look like and how does it actually help the user. It's not wrong to just think about that because essentially your job is like an advocate, to sort of influence people, people's behavior, etc. But it's not exactly like the core problem that we are trying to solve. So PMs are very interested in terms of logic. They are interested in making those assumptions and taking those risks so that your product succeeds. Because a lot of times you might have seen that a lot of features are pushed out before they're even sort of thought about, etc. Because uh, the idea of that agileness is like a core part of PMs. And as designers, again, like being advocates of um, the users, we are essentially thinking about the behavior, the psychology, etc. So that is a gap, I believe. And it's the same gap that sort of comes up in different arguments every now and then between PMs and designers. And I just wanted to close that gap. So that's what this session is all about today. um, I came up with like 5 questions that I feel like are the ones that could sort of answer everything. Not exactly everything, but we'll try to cover like most aspects of everything, and then I made a framework of it altogether towards the end that I think you can take a screenshot of, etc. So that you have some idea about. But you can run these before you actually open Figma to design anything, and this will probably make whatever problem statements you have uh, better in some way. So the first question is, who is the adjacent user? Which means that I'm not talking about like the core user who is right out there. I believe PMs sort of ask this question of who is probably somebody who's right outside the door and who's right next to the product, but they're not actually using the product. And that's where the growth sort of a PM comes in, because they're thinking about how do you market something and grow the product to a new space altogether so that more users join in while the existing ones say stay happy. So this is what Instagram did, because at the end of the day they knew that the features that they've built um, were not enough, because they found out that people who wanted to like use the follow button, etc. But you might have seen like most people don't actually post, right? So they actually built for that person, um, and they influence the market in such a way so that the creator economy, as we know it now, grows to an extent that everybody wants to be a creator. And if you remember, there was a time when there were no songs on Instagram, um, and then the moment songs came in, they influenced a lot of features that like a lot of people to create content, because at the end of the day everybody wants to be like in a movie, and they want to showcase that they are like in a great situation, like they're very dramatic, etc. Because we are very influenced by these movies, etc. So that song feature, when they introduced, their users jumped from 400 million to 1 billion users. So that's like a huge impact that you can bring out, um, just by thinking about this question, that how do we get more people in. So yeah, the adjacent user was the one who was like a silent scroller. He was not something that everybody else was sort of like, he was not like somebody who was like posting, etc. So they optimized it for creators at the end of the day. So you can also ask this question: who is here in your product right now, um, but also not here, and somebody whom you can get in with whatever feature you design. So you can also think of it like uh, Duolingo did. How do you introduce a feature like streaks, etc., which was again, so very interestingly, I was looking at this concept called how do you come up with different ideas for products in this age. Um, there's a very interesting company called, I will just open up the link of that. I'll share it with you as well. Polar, Pol, Polsia. Yeah, here. I'll put it in the chat as well. You can have a look at it here, this company. And the thing with this company is it's very interesting because this is just one guy who has built this company, and he's been building it alone and has raised like 30 million, like if you even $30 million, and then if you even look at their platform, their design is like completely different from usually what you would see out there. And this guy is definitely not a designer. The whole point of this is that he's thinking of how he can, attract more people. So for example, I am a designer. When I opened the platform, I immediately sort of liked it because मतलब इतना अच्छा बनाया था उसने. So um, yeah, yeah, the job is to get in more people, etc. The next question is, what is the North Star metric? I think this is the most common question that any PM thinks of whenever they're trying to build. So for me, for example, right now, my North Star metric is getting more users on my platform. And that is what I'm working towards. I don't have like a dashboard for it. I don't have any KPI set for it. I just know that whatever decision I'm taking at the end of the day, whatever design I'm trying to build in the product, it has to somewhat influence this North Star metric. So um, Duolingo's North Star metric was active listeners. It was not downloads or signups. It was the people who actually came back to learn. So this streak feature only existed because they wanted to move that one. So I think it's important for you to figure out what is your main North Star metric that you're trying to work towards. Um, because once you start designing everything thinking about that, you will be able to bring in some influence on the in your team, in your company, so that you also get a seat at the table. I remember I got a seat at the table because I built a feature called subscription management. It was a team effort, definitely. Me and my colleagues built it. But that one feature got me my promotion. Um, and while I'm not very interested about that promotion or other things, but uh, it is like a good way to showcase that you're being valued in the company, etc. And you're doing some positive impact. So the 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 way I think you should look at it is, for example, I designed a lot of features. I've designed like around 150 to 200 features in my time at my previous company. um, and when I was doing that, um, this one feature was one of the closest to revenue. And I believe once you're designing something for that revenue when you're in a startup, if that is at least the metric that you're trying to chase towards, um, you will be able to bring in that influence uh, in the company and then get a seat at the table. Um, so, yeah. Another question is, what will happen if it didn't exist? Because users would always find some or the other way to do something. It's actually counterfactual, I believe, in some way. But at the end of the day, it is also about how do you build something which, if you remove from the equation, might might bring in some influence in your people. So just think about this. How do you go about it? It's a more of a, like a gut check sort of feeling, I believe. Um, and if you like your answer is like they'll be fine, it's like low urgency. You don't exactly have to build something like this. And if the feeling is like you're struck, you're frustrated, you want to leave, etc. um, it's high urgency. You should build it right away. I believe subscription management in my case was something which was sort of like high urgency sort of a thing. Um, so yeah, I mean, influence your designs in such a way so that these questions are answered by you before they are being asked by those PMs. Another question is, what is the opportunity cost? I believe I'm not sure. So, is there anybody who does like SWOT analysis before they actually build anything? or is it more like you get a design document and then you
No,
start
actually, but
building?
I understand what is opportunity cost. It is
Right,
beauty of economics and right. But that's the way step.
right. Like, do you usually, like, in your actual workflow when you're in office, do you actually get to do a SWOT analysis of a feature before you actually build it, or how does it look like?
Ideally, it does not happen that way. What happens in terms of feature is that we have a lot of usability tests going on with nurses, the clinical resource coordinator, and everyone that. I just hop in into the call, find a need, and then we validate that is it worth solving or right now, we are only solving for a photo, so we have our ARs and vision statement and all that. If it aligns, it goes to CMO, he signs it off, then it comes back to us to design and prove.
I say, oh, so you have like a chain of command.
Kind of, yes, because we have a big hospital right there.
Right.
Also, a lot
Okay.
of compliance work is also going on.
Yeah, definitely, definitely, definitely. That makes sense. What about you guys, Rishabh, Abhishek?
No, like currently I haven't in this current company because last year when I was in UAE or like when I was working the government of at that time like there were stakeholders when we were having that opportunity like figure out with the ministers. So at that time it was there, but it was not in the terms in the language of design. It was more in the language of their own, like what their government actually compliant with, because they have very strict rules and regulations. So we have to be in that particular boundary. So that is where like they told me in a business perspective, in a business and compliance perspective, not in the design perspective. So,
I see. What
Currently, I
about
don't
you?
have, we don't have this, but in my previous company, which I do like the startup, that everything was in effort impact matrix, like you chart where they map the efforts and the impact.
Mm-hmm.
We
Mm-hmm.
whatever we do for the that quarter or for that period of time, we go with effort impact matrix for not just design, for the whole product as such. To see if the effort we put in is giving us the impact which we think. So as how the QA and other folks know, that's how we look like. Small effort, low impact is the one which we start. Then high effort, high impact. We go with low effort, low impact or some stuff like
Right.
probably we will be going to the low effort, low impact skills. That's those
Yeah.
kind of features are those kind of updates are we just reject it randomly. But we do have them have some of them in the mind, like so that we can check it. The handle allows us we proceed and we start as
Mm-hmm. Right, right, right. No, yeah, yeah, great points. I believe also when you're like actually designing things, there are a lot of sub features that we design eventually. So, for example, I remember when I was designing like this gallery part of my product, very recently, um, I had to take a decision whether I want to make like the select all feature to, perform all the CRUD operations together on. um, and at the end of the day, the call was to not build that because the the opportunity was huge, but the cost was um, much more than the opportunity was. So I had to like give up that feature. Um, so yeah, I mean, when you're building things, it's also important to understand what you're not building, and that influence also comes in not just in the feature level but also at the sub feature level that you're actually building, so that whatever decisions you make sort of influence the product. So I believe if you guys are like working like big companies, the game changes a lot because at the end of the day you're trying to optimize a lot of things, um, and you have like a lot of developers so that you have like more bandwidth, etc. But I think the definition changes when you're like thinking in a small company when you have like limited development bandwidth, etc. So yeah, um it's a yes or a no question, I believe. But then at the end of the day, the question is, what did you say yes to this week is what I think you need to answer. And what did you say no to specifically is also, I think, you need to answer so that you can reflect upon your current week and think about how did actually things work in your feature, whatever you've designed. So, um, I think this is a good exercise for you to take away from this basically. Just think about whatever feature you've designed, what was the yes and what was the no in that question by yourself, so that you're thinking more about the um, right. So I'm going to skip this one. Um, then comes the activation threshold. So what's the minimum for these features to be useful is a good question to ask, because if it's below the like the threshold of what this feature is being built for, it's like dead weight. And I think you need to define that line before you build it. This one is again more specifically focused towards startup features, because that's what I've seen so far happen. Um, but again, it's up to you to think about what will happen if it's below the threshold. Um, does it even influence any behavioral change, etc.? Or if it's above that threshold, does it actually create enough value for people? Because if it is above threshold, it will definitely change what people actually do. Um, but most, I think, features that you ship at the end of the day are not something that are crossing that threshold. So just know your thing before you actually ship it out. So I'm gonna pull out like a chart that I made. I think this is the one that I put in the story. So this is like a full framework, I believe, that you guys can use in terms of an understanding. We'll just very quickly go through this entire thing together. So you get a user complaint. Um, if you see any metric drop, if you see any metric raise, anything like that, if your stakeholders ask to do so or your competitors move, these are the ones, the first layer is basically the one that is sort of influencing what you do, because at the end of the day, your feature that you design is coming from some place, right? So I believe these are like the four major places that I've seen things come from. And then you can take up that problem and then frame it better. This is where those five whys. Does anybody know what five whys is? Yeah, Abhishek.
Hi, Ashish. So five wives, right? Like why?
Yes, why? Yes, sure. Wait,
Why?
here.
Start with why, why you
Converge by.
do?
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. This is not an idea, but so
Oh, yeah.
That is the what, I, when, where,
No, no,
right?
no, not that. Not
no,
that.
no,
Not that.
it's kind of different. Like we will just, why are we doing this or no? Why is it good or something like that? It will have.
No, 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 no. Nah, that's not it. Five whys is basically like if you have like a statement in front of you, what you do is you think about the why and you keep asking why to that question, to that statement again and again. For example, if I say this pen's color is not good, so the question is, why is this pen's color not? It's probably because the factory did not have the funds to, um, have more dye that they want to put out on this pen. Then the question is, then you ask why again to that point, which is that why did the factory not have enough dye? Why did they not have enough funds? So it might come to something like, they're spending more on XYZ amount of machine more. So why are they spending more on that XYZ? So the whole point of five whys is like a framework to understand at the core what exactly is the problem. And it's not exactly like you have to always ask five times that why question, but it's more like an exercise that you can do. So maybe after like two, three whys, you can also arrive at that thing. Then jobs to be done is again to reframe whatever you're trying to find the root cause of what exactly is it that you're trying to build. So we're going to use Claude here in the system that we've made, so that you are able to pressure test that particular brief that you made. Um, then the question asked is, what is the size, what is the frequency, what is the pain? And if the answer is no to that question, you immediately kill that feature, and then you document it and move on. That it's not something that you want to build on. So this again here is where that decision comes in of, oh yeah, Rishabh.
No, those five whys you are explaining, that is also called as the first principles thinking, right?
Eventually, yes, yes, yeah. I
Because
don't know what is the relation between five whys and first principles, but I definitely know when you ask five whys, you eventually end up like thinking from the first principles
Yeah,
uh,
because in the first
perspective.
principles method, when I was reading, and also like the examples from famous Elon Musk, because he also uses first principle to like whenever
Yeah,
anything is happening in his company, so like to the root cause he's going, like why this problem is happening on the very
right.
first, like atomic basis. So
Yeah,
start solving it from there,
yeah,
from the
yeah,
atomic.
yeah. Do you know what, like, where does the term for first principles come from?
No.
Like, even I don't know. I don't have like a good idea about it, but I heard somewhere that it comes. It's like a physics term that people use. So I don't know about that. I probably worth a search on internet what it
Yeah,
could be,
because
but
as
it's
far as
interesting.
I'm remembering, because like I'm more curious towards science philosophy rather than actually going into science derivation mathematics. But science philosophy is, I guess, Richard Feynman gave this first principle thinking in MIT.
Interesting.
Like I think so because one of the professors from MIT actually gave it back in like
Interesting.
1930s and 40s. Because it was Richard Feynman who was more of a philosopher guy in physics.
Uh-huh. Yeah, he has
Because
written some
he
pretty
himself,
good books.
there was a thing that he explained the entire calculus in 5 pages once.
Ah,
Yeah, so
okay.
we used to like drill down every complex thing into very smaller chunks. That was his specialty.
अच्छा. Interesting. Interesting. Okay. Coming back to this. Um, so yeah, we are at killing a feature. Um, so yeah, it's worth asking that next question basically what is breaking, where is it breaking, etc. You can also again use five whys, jobs to be done, reframework, and then reframing the question again, and then finding the root cause. You can use GPT for this. But the system that I've built sort of so far is of multiple agents working together. So essentially, I start off with how we can use Claude with GPT. Then I figured out that probably GPT is not the right answer because you can definitely use Codex if you want to. So you can build a layer on top of Claude that I'll give you guys so that you get like a different perspective altogether from a different thinking model itself. Um, but yeah, then coming to the trade-offs that you make, are the trade-offs okay or not? If they're not okay, you need to reframe it, document it, move on. If you feel like it's not worth doing anything, and then you of course ship and measure. And this basically is like the whole cycle of how you're learning about new things that are built and then testing them out. Once you look at the data of how things are performed, you can come back and then you know move further. So here's a quick case study about Spotify. Do you guys use Spotify?
A lot.
A lot. So
Yeah.
you must know this feature, right?
Yes.
Discover Weekly. Um, it is one of the most loved features of this app because I think their algorithm is very good. Although right now I've sort of found out that YouTube's algorithm is better in terms of finding out new music because they sort of remind me of music that I heard 10 years back. I think because that's because they have the data itself. But yeah, I mean, I believe this is a very good example of how they thought about the product, how they brought in that product thinking is like inside a decision that they made in design. So yeah, they didn't like run any survey for this. They actually saw what people skipped, and that is the feature that they tracked, and they sort of saw that behavior of people, and then they understood why exactly is it happening. So it was not like what are people liking more. It was like an anti behavior that they sort of tracked and then influenced in a way because at the end of the day a lot of users can't exactly articulate because I personally am like I don't know like initially when I used Spotify I didn't exactly like how they were giving me suggestions because of course I didn't have like a library or anything. So it's very hard for users in a lot of situations to articulate what exactly is it that they want, and most of the times they never can exactly like articulate it, but their actions are something that influence a lot of decisions. in different products, because that is telling you the whole story of what they are doing exactly. So if they're skipping something, they're exactly saying, I don't want this, and they're playing something towards the end, it's more like, give me more of this sort of a feature. So they designed everything for the users looking at this anti sort of a behavior that they looked at. So yeah, I mean, a very interesting case study. Uh, but yeah, so let's jump into that mode of AI. We're done with theory. I think, yeah, the good time to get into that mode of, a problem statement. Do you guys have a problem? Yeah, Rishabh.
Yeah, no, for that Spotify thing, they also made this feature for the
Uh-huh.
they were the ones to introduce that yearly recap in the app. So
Yearly recap.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. After that, like YouTube also started that, and
Everyone
YouTube
copied.
Music and LinkedIn itself started that
Yeah.
yearly recap.
Even Zomato, etc.
Yes.
Everybody started
So
it.
they are the ones to
Yeah.
start that yearly recap. And like right
Yeah.
now, on their 20th anniversary, they also made like your whole Spotify journey recap. So the day you
Ah,
once started the Spotify, what was your first song on the Spotify?
right. 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 Yeah.
So I guess that is, well, like as far as I remember, like that is great for getting new users by nostalgia, like giving them the
Definitely.
nostalgia to
Definitely.
get the new
Definitely.
users.
Definitely. That's I think that's a good example of how do you get those adjacent users onto your platform, because it's like a good marketing sort of a thing that everybody wants to see. And people are so motivated. I think you've also seen. I think you also must be so motivated that you want to post out a story saying this is the number
Yes,
of hours
yes.
that I
Because the more
yeah,
one thing that the motion and the graphics and the movement and
yeah,
also behind your songs that you were listening in all those years. So those 20 years of recap, because I had around 7 to 8 years on Spotify. So on
okay,
2019, I guess I started for the first time when they came in India. So from there, like everything, that whole design of that carousel is so retro, like that will
yeah,
take you back to like what was world before 2020, because we know after that how much good progress made in the world. Because before that,
right,
most of the things were slow. So they made it in that way.
yeah, yeah, very true. Cool. We'll jump back into this like working sort of a session. Do you guys have a problem statement that you want to work with right now today, or do you want to take some time to think about it? What exactly is it that you want to do?
Can't think about it because I haven't got the chance to think on the problem statement yet. If you
Okay.
can
Yeah.
narrow down, yeah, if you can narrow down on a problem statement or something that we can find.
Yeah, for sure. I
Yeah.
mean, I wanted to leave this discussion up to you guys, because I think so. Everybody wants to do it like in a different way, right? Somebody wants to build a portfolio. Somebody is already uh, building something for their office work or etc. So um, just at least like think of like one statement that you want to work towards. It could be like a feature that you want to design. It could be a feature that you want to remove, etc. And then we'll jump into this mode. What I'll do is I'll probably give you guys a link of this. 1 second. This is the repository that I made. Oh, yeah, I'll send it to you, Abhishek. These questions. This is the repository. Oh, it's opening Figma ka link, yeah? Wait 1 second. Sorry. Here is the Git ka link. Cool. So, do you guys know how to work with this? How to use Git, etc. Or do you want any help in this? Huh?
Need help with this. So, okay.
Need help in this? Okay,
Yeah.
cool. Um, So this is like the folder structure that you have in front of you. Do you guys remember? So Abhishek was probably not there. Abhishek, do you understand the folder structure of how do you build like a system in Claude? Different skills, different agents, etc.
So next time,
To some extent.
I think I've did something like this in the office, but not very great extent.
Okay. 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 Cool. I'll give you a quick brief about what I talked about in the last sort of a session, which was that there's a folder called agents. Inside agents, you have different types of agents. So you have a product strategist, for example. If you open it, you'll have a look. You can have a look at who exactly is this agent. What is their job that they're trying to do? How is it that we want them to respond, and how do we use this agent? So it's like a definition of who exactly is this person, basically, in the system itself, and there are different types of uh, things that are built. And you also have a memory sort of a thing. This is basically how do you take feedback and then think about the system itself. So because at the end of the day, you would be probably interacting with this every now and then. So you want some memory to be stored in. There's also like a session that is there. This is like the template of how exactly is a session going. So there will be like a start of the session, there'll be like an end of the session. Um, and then, of course, these are the commands that you have. These are different things that I believe you can use, you can modify however you like. But initially, I believe all you have to do is like go to code and then download the zip file, or at least fork it from here. If you download it, you won't be able to see any updates that happen to this. While if you fork it, you will be given like different updates, etc. Quick question before we proceed: do you guys have Claude Code with you, or uh, anything like that, or
Yeah, I'm having.
you have Claude Code? Rishabh, Abhishek,
Yeah,
do you have Claude Code?
like Claude and the Gravity book. Yeah.
Okay. Mm-hmm. Abhishek?
No, I don't have that.
Okay. Okay. No problem. At least like create a fork of this and download that file. When the moment you create a fork of it, it'll basically show up in your repository itself. And you can use a downloaded folder however you like. I'll get into those details. So I think the first step is to fork it. Um, Let me know when you guys are done with that. You do you guys have an
Can
account on GitHub?
I did.
Sis- Yeah, Srishti, can I share my screen so that you can
Yeah,
like
yeah, yeah,
quickly
yeah,
so
yeah,
that three of us
yeah, yeah.
can
Sure.
because both those things are.
Mm-hmm.
So I shared my entire screen.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, here I open this.
Mm-hmm.
In four,
So
I can
on the
now
top right, on the top right, you see fork.
just a second. I will not sign in.
Oh, you need to sign in.
Just
Yes.
yeah,
Mhm.
yeah, yeah, it is all. Yes.
You see fork. Yeah. Just
Mhm.
press that. The moment you do that, it'll basically create like, of course, like a fork, and then you're basically taking out a branch from it and just create that fork. So now what will happen is you will be able to get updates from it.
Okay,
Um,
so this is
if you
in
want,
my GitHub.
yes, this is
Okay,
now in
okay.
your GitHub.
So I can make changes
On
again.
the top, yeah, on the top left, you see your name, ekdam upar.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, yeah.
you see your name and then what is the system that you've copied, right? Um, yeah, so this is like the folder structure entirely. It is up to you. How do you want to use it? So now that you've forked it, you can either use this or you can use the system downloaded file itself. So I'll also show you how do you use the downloaded file. So go to code, download that zip folder. I usually do that because I want to like understand my local mein zip. नीचे हाँ. So I usually do this because I want to understand how safe it is for me to run this. I can also give the link, this exact link to Claude Code and ask what is the folder structure? Is everything safe for me to download or not? Cool. So yeah, you can go to Claude and then uh, go to Claude Code. Yeah, go to Code. Inside Code, yeah, you see a new folder. नीचे select folder. Select folder. उसको दबा के
Yeah, good.
it's fine. Yeah, I mean up to you.
Maybe that's was always better to work with than
Yeah. What about you guys, Abhishek, Vishnu?
I don't have plan for it.
I have Claude Code. Just let me just in this.
Yeah. You can also present your screen if you like.
yeah.
Help you out.
I don't have GitHub right now. Like I haven't signed it in
Oh,
GitHub yet.
yeah. It's actually very important, I believe, in this sort of an era to have like a GitHub account because you see this blank thing that are showing up on Rishabh's ka ye, screen. These are the
Mhm.
commits or the times you've used Claude Code or etc. So I believe this is something that people will sort of track when they are hiring uh, people. So Anthropic is set to Anthropic is very specific in terms of whom they are hiring, and they want people who can code, even if it's vibe code. At least understand the code and then vibe code. So they look at all this, and even when you apply to
Mhm.
different startup funds, for example, if you apply to Y Combinator, etc., they would also ask you this.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah, I have to
So
set up my GitHub.
yeah.
mhm.
I mean, just a 2 minute setup, right? Just sign up and then create a fork of it.
Doing it.
So I'll just open that folder which is I downloaded from the zip.
Yeah, yeah. I'll show you that version and then I'll show you how do you use Git with Claude as well, the cloud version.
Yeah,
So
it
go
is
to select folder niche and then select the folder that you just used. Just download it.
it is required to run local
Oh
sessions.
yeah, you need Git.
Okay. Well,
So
I mean,
I
is
have to
this like
download.
the first time you are using?
Yeah, what code I'm using the system because earlier I was doing coding on the normal cloud side. So I'll just download
Mhm,
it.
We
mhm.
have terminal, right?
Mhm.
Sorry?
Internet terminal check if you have.
Sorry, I can't hear you.
No, I'm just saying if he's having that Git, he just go to terminal and check if he does have Git.
Yeah. These are terminal commands, by the way.
Yeah. Mac OS installing Git UI.
Git space V.
Uh, which one?
In the terminal, it's like Git space V.
No, getting it.
Git space
Space,
V for victory V.
uh, space V.
You can so
Mhm.
yeah, Mac with you.
Yeah, I believe you see those
This is Mac.
commands. How do
Mhm.
you see those commands? Just copy paste them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Homebrew or Mac.
Yeah. No, download, use everything.
Okay, okay.
I think you need Homebrew to use the packages in Mac. So you have to
It is showing install Homebrew if you don't already have it.
Yeah, so you see the link niche, yeah, copy it and then paste it to the. I don't have Mac, so I don't know about all this, but I know for sure these terminal commands are important to run.
Select this
Kill this terminal,
preferences.
kill it and start a new terminal.
close. Using Git, you don't need a homebrew. Homebrew is for your packages in NPM. Node.js, when you install that, you need a.
Okay.
That's specific to Mac, but
I guess I
Do
have
you
to
also
set
have
it
a
up.
Mac?
no, I work with the Mac in my office system, but
Oh,
I have only Windows with me, so that's why I have everything in my Mac, so
yeah, yeah.
go to home. I'll walk you through.
Yeah.
You need to install Homebrew in your device. Homebrew is
Okay.
just a packager.
Uh-huh.
So without Homebrew, you can't work with NPMs and nodes and
This also have to run it
so
on the terminal.
yeah. No, you don't have to run it on the terminal. You just have to install the brew first. You can. Then you have to
This link.
copy the commands which you have with you. And I did it this way, dude. Like I pressed Claude to help me, Claude helped me. So that's what Claude told me. Like Homebrew is something which is
Okay.
only specific to Mac, and with that you can with that only you can work with whatever packages or Node.js or whatever you install in your
Okay.
So it is showing two things. Paste that in macOS terminal. I guess this command, or if you're on macOS, try and download it from GitHub. Okay, this is
Try
also
that. I just try that link that you see over. Put it on terminal. This entire link should work ideally.
You don't need Homebrew to install Git. It is universal and it's open source.
It's only for some packages that you were talking about, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Password.
So you definitely need Node and Git in your PC or Mac. So for Git, you just have to I'll share you a video. That's what
Yeah, that will be helpful because I actually need a video to set all these things up.
go to.
Yes,
That's a
send me
video.
also.
Where,
Do you
where,
work
where?
on Mac, Vishnu?
No, I'm on Windows actually.
Windows doesn't need Homebrew for you to get Git or Node or anything. Even for Mac,
Yeah,
you
it
don't
was
need
fairly
Homebrew to get.
simple for me. I remember. Like all I had to do was like download Git and then use that npm to launch things.
I think you need Node, Git. Apart from that, that's something else you can do. But
You'll also have
Home,
to
Home, but
you'll also
Homebrew
have to
is like
use
just
connector in this thing Claude. So you'll have to connect your Claude to Git as well.
Mhm.
You go to customize ऊपर नीचे नीचे ये ऊपर रूटीन न्यू सेशन के नीचे लिखा है कस्टमाइज ऊपर 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 ऊपर
Yeah.
ये you have to set up connect your different apps together. Yes. So just find Git connected with this so that all your repositories are sort of combined. Plugin है
Just
क्या नीचे?
let it be.
नहीं इसमें भी नहीं है. I think online देखना पड़ेगा.
So take my flag.
Hmm. देखो guys, can you give me like 2 minutes? I'll just be back.
Sure. Yes,
Okay.
sure.
I think by then you can like sort of set up this thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll just come back here.
have you installed Git with it? Also, that will check if you have Git version.
Yeah.
You told me that. Go to that. I think it's Git space B dash dash or something. Let me get
Uh,
that.
I'll check.
You go to Claude, you type the like how to check it if I have it here or not. It will give you commands and
Yes.
everything.
Yeah, that I'm just checking in itself. No, not to click here. On Mac, git dash dash
Dash
version.
dash version. Is that so you don't have Git with you.
Yeah.
The
This enter to display the license. Okay. So that is what I guess.
you have to go. You don't need home to do it. You first install it. It is easy.
So what we have installed with Mac OS. Just install.
Sorry. Yeah, I think we got it very money. I think it's with Homebrew only you can install it. It's in Mac.
Alexa, AC off.
Yeah, install for Mac. It is okay.
Uh,
Let it install. Okay. So,
Install Homebrew, install Solo, then
no, it will again come here. So here we have
Guys,
documentation
I'm back.
discussion.
What's up? क्या चल रहा है?
It's not like I can't find like how to install Homebrew.
Oh,
Like,
no. Can you go back to that screen? वो पिछला वाला जहाँ पे होमब्रू का लिंक दिया हुआ था गिट का था आई थिंक not this screen the one before this yes this choose one of the following and install homebrew yeah did you try like running the second one 2 3 ये नीचे के just try them as well and see if it works if not then we'll try to use gpt to solve it do you have gpt as well
like no, not the Pro, but yes, that.
anything हाँ मतलब you don't need
No,
like
but
a pro
for everything I have.
yeah
Command not found.
can you put a screenshot of this on wait I'll just also put a screenshot wait one second 2 minutes will take
you don't have any other idea
install
but
install
do you have VS Code or anything?
Yes, I have the anti-gravity I have.
How does anti-gravity is working with you? Like,
Anti-gravity I updated today itself, but earlier it was working. But I don't know. Because
anti-gravity
today
is
though it
like a very good tool, I believe. Like, have you tried it, Abhishek?
we are using cursor, madam, and we're using anything else. So that's why I think I'm new to Claude Code, Codex, or anything else. I'm using only
Hmm.
cursor. We just clone the info from Azure DevOps is what we are
not.
using.
This one though I used to get dash dash version.
Okay.
But where is that?
Here are
Yeah,
yeah,
which version?
try these again.
Yeah, so you have not agreed to the
Just to
Xcode or
install
Apple
Git,
list. That's it.
Homebrew, Node, and NPM previous system to get going with cloning tools and cloning repos and pushing and commit for the Git or anything. Status. Those are the four things you have to do before you work on an IDE. I'm assuming that's what I did. Not sure if it's the right
No,
way.
no. Yeah, so you just yeah, can you please tell me again? I'll just
I'm
this.
sending you a video right now. That's the video which I got to.
Yeah, yeah. That will be
How to install Git and Git on Mac is from Code Wizard. That's what I use.
good.
This link should work because I'm seeing this everywhere, even on
You
Git.
check you the video for
Yeah, thanks.
Is a free open source homebrew. Now homebrew command here already have homebrew.
Okay, yeah, then I'll set it up. But yeah, so if you can go on with the section, then I have need some time to set all these things.
Okay, yeah. Vishnu, what about you? Where are you right now?
I just checked my this Git version on Claude Code. It took percent. It took 3% of the token. Let me share my screen first.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yes.
See a bunch of designers trying to figure out what dev stuff is.
You just run the
Screen is
same
visible, right?
command which you like open
Yeah, yeah.
command terminal. Oh, yeah, you have that. You have Git version
Okay.
installed in your Windows. You don't need homebrew or anything else in it. It's easier.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I didn't need homebrew because I have this is the first time I'm hearing about homebrew.
Homebrew's packager just definitely you need that for your whenever you work on cloning reports and committing, pushing code and doing
Okay.
stuff.
Okay.
If
Makes sense.
you
That's
can't
the
do that with
primary thing.
now.
Yeah, that's the
That's
primary thing then.
it's always hard on acting.
Yeah, makes sense. Vishnu, you can also run it on terminal if you want. Have you tried Claude Code on terminal?
Honestly, not yet. Yesterday only I got this permission to install all this. This was all behind admin access.
Yeah, yeah,
Just
yeah. Makes
cute.
sense.
What's plot food is like? I mean, I know bits and pieces of plot food. How is it better than a cursor or products or some IDE based one?
No, so it's not exactly ID. Um, Claude Code is through which you can deploy multiple agents together working on something. Cursor IDE is like Cursor is mainly built for IDE level.
Yeah,
It
yeah.
is basically built to see what the code is, etc. But
Yeah.
the bet that Claude Code and very recently anti-gravity also made was that when you're creating these systems, it is important to understand that at the end of the day, nobody will actually refer to the code itself. So IDE already exists, like open source IDE already exists. So there's no point in like using them again and again. At the end of the day, the deployments will be through agents and you'll be running multiple agents together. So it's better to build like an agentic system uh, together. So that's what anti-gravity did. Do you want me to present? Do you have anti-gravity? Do you want to present my screen and show you what does it look like, etc.?
Yes, yes, yes.
Yeah, one second. Here is how it looks. Share screen. One second. 1 minute. Yeah, yeah. Here. Uh, can you see my screen?
Yes.
Yeah, so this is how you will deploy like multiple agents together. Abhishek, do you deploy multiple agents together?
No. Not done
Okay,
those.
okay. Yeah, so
Just
this
work
is
with
basically,
this like so.
hmm, yeah. So basically, this is like the agentic system that they built. They moved away from that basic ID sort of a thing. They're like, there's no point to building all this. So yeah, if you open Codex as well, I think I'll show you Codex as well. 1 minute, it's opening. But yeah, essentially, again, at the end of the day, even Codex is something which is completely different. It is uh, focusing more towards how do you want to like. It's like a competitor of Claude, you can say. So everything that Claude was trying to do, it's also trying to do the same thing. And the best part about Claude and Codex is that they both like build features through which they can both talk to each other. So what we usually do is last time I gave a link of something called a Gstack. I'll also share that link with you. Wait, Gstack, Gstack here. Yes, putting out a link of this on the chat. You can have a look at it. This this is one of the best sort of systems that the Y Combinator president right now Gary has made. And then of course, like you can have a look at it and brainstorm with it if you are building like a startup, etc. One of the most important sessions that I use throughout these conversations that you see here with anti-gravity is something known as office hours. This so it's like the, a mode that this Gary guy has built, and I use it basically to build things. But then I've stopped using anti-gravity since the past 2 days because the entire system has now upgraded. So I'm back to Claude and started using Claude. Oh, by the way, here is Codex. Wait 1 second. I'll show you Codex as well. Here is how Codex looks like. This this is by OpenAI. Again, a very similar interface. If you see, more or less the same sort of things
Got
that
it.
we have. But yeah, and also if you look at Claude Code in general, this can you see my screen? Can you see Claude
Yeah,
Code?
yeah, 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 yeah.
You go here. You're able to see multiple. So these are multiple conversations that I've been having over the past what days or weeks or whatever, and
Got
these
it.
are the sessions that need those inputs. So what you can do here is you can deploy something like, for example, I can say deploy an agent to do xyz, and at the same time you can deploy a different agent on a different branch of your code, and then both of them are working towards building something. And if you want to see the code of it, you can either go to git and see what all commits that they're trying to make, or you can go to an ide and then have a look at what they're making. It depends on your workflow. I believe Cowork. So Cowork was made completely out of Claude Code, um, and like it's very like you've seen those YouTube videos where people say that you stopped coding.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
Yeah, it's because of this only. Because they've been using Claude Code in such a good way. I, like for me personally, I don't like using command uh, terminal to use Claude Code, but a lot of developers like using this because I believe it gives you better level
Yeah, yeah.
access, right?
So you do have
Um,
terminals inside ID. Like most of the time we use that to get
you also
everything.
use,
Like
oh, you use terminal for everything.
we are using our developers are teaching us to use that to put to open a
Yeah,
package to see what is inside to
yeah,
navigate
yeah,
that.
yeah.
So you have to use terminal to push up to make branch from the main branch to create your own branch to update your code if to check what
Definitely.
conflict you
Yeah,
got and everything. So
yeah.
I think it was initially really hard for me, but right now we are right using cursor and stuff is on the game, man. Like you guys are moving from that as well.
Cursor is also very. So I used to use cursor earlier. I switched back to anti-gravity because I wanted to try out Gemini.
Oh, cool, cool.
The reason was because I was paying money to Cursor, I was paying money to GPT, I was paying money to Claude. And then I was like, why do you want to do that? Why do you want to pay to OpenAI and this? And
Oh,
I've
yeah,
heard
got
that Gemini is also very good in terms of a lot of things. So I switched to anti-gravity and Gemini for a while. Tried it out. It didn't sort of resonate with me. I'm back to OpenAI now. So I need to set up Codex to work along with Claude Code and then again come back to Cursor. But hmm, yeah.
There's this thing called overdrawn where you can pay an account for yourself. Like if you pay 10, 15, $40, you can individually that will be multiple models there. Like a specific model which you want to run in your ID and you can utilize
Mm-hmm.
that. It will
Mm-hmm.
be it is based on the specific need of yours. Like you can run any model. You can even run Neutron or something from NVIDIA, and there are multiple Chinese models which both like both consume any tokens of yours, but provide a so good outputs. Okay. In that case,
Mm-hmm.
if you are paying multiple samples like Claude or Antiquity or anything else, we are using we are using Cursor, so we definitely
Okay.
required ID environment to someone to review our code, which was coded by agent. On
Mm-hmm.
the other side, we can have open source attachment where you can switch between different models. And this pay as you go token version. Like we pay $30.
Yeah.
You just pay tokens if you use, not just like I don't know,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
not okay test, but I'm really at the learning stage of this particular thing. Like,
Yeah,
not
same. I
was
believe I'm also at the learning stage as well. But
uh,
I think the only point is like the more things you try out, the better you'll get. So, for example, for me personally, I've never actually found the time to set up Claude for myself. Um, because there are so many random things that are happening every now and then. It's just hard for me to like set up Claude itself. So I think uh, all I need is like 6 hours of like pure work, and then Claude is like set up for me. Matlab, I believe you can also do that if you have like Claude or if you want to set up Codex or something.
I'm doing like doing see guys. We can just see what plot is. I'm paying $20 and assume this how this can be helpful. On the other hand, user like it's making life easier. It's like we just create something in Figma as a base. We
Yeah,
we 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 we, we use the recipient to tap your we build like models from this farm. We then there is an effort from our side, like there will be a for the developers. We have closed the repo, we created another repo just for the designers' sake. We are not touching the main branch or anything. We create our own
yeah,
branch
yeah, yeah. Very
and
true.
we are
Makes
working
sense.
on and we are doing
Yeah,
that. But
makes sense.
I
I
think
think I was having like a conversation with somebody of how this whole thing is like going to evolve into. And one of the conversations or one of the branches that we thought the future could look like would be possibly having an ID set up for designers itself. Because at the end of
yeah,
the day,
yeah.
that is where the code lives, right? In my previous company, how people have deployed it is very different. What they've done is they've used the same code base that there is, but what they've done is they've created like a new tab for a new feature that they've built, and it's in the main code itself. It's just that it's isolated in some way. So every new feature you build out, it's built there. It's tested out on a new tab itself. People are testing it out on a new tab. If it works, then you sort of merge it and then see how the code is. Otherwise, it just doesn't make sense because it like this is a stage where you experiment things. Very interesting.
From what we have understood is like it has good software document design system or design system for which
Hmm.
is connected with your Figma, like this something called code corrected Figma. Like we have multiple
True, true.
things here. One
Yeah,
is
true. I think that's what everybody else is facing.
no, that's those are the issues we are having right now. So we started with Figma Make like for 6 months. We were working with Figma Make. We were downloading from there and giving to our
Yeah,
developers. They
yeah,
were doing the same thing using GitHub Copilot to check the code and they used the AI to do it. Like, we then found out like this would be easy if we have cursor and Figma Make is getting more costlier. Like
yeah.
we can't afford that as much. So we restricted Figma Make to only to the design thing where we can have a quick runaround of the stuff can be we can have
Yeah,
multiple
yeah.
iterations before doing and
Have
running
you
tokens.
Are you guys like coming to this makers event, Figma's
No,
makers collective event? It's happening in
no,
different
we
cities.
okay.
Where
I
is it?
guess that
In
one is in Gurgaon, one is in Bombay. I think the Bombay one happened already. One is in Bangalore, I guess. Not sure about Chennai and Hyderabad though. Must be in
Okay.
Hyderabad also, definitely.
Figma makers management.
Yeah, it happened
Makers collective.
this week, last week. I missed it.
Yeah. Oh.
No, I mean,
But it's like a good. The reason why I say is because they've come up with this agent, Figma agent. If you guys have seen,
yeah,
it's in
yeah, I've
beta.
seen it.
Yeah, it's in beta right now. I'm gonna ask them if they can give that feature to us because for us, like for Osiflow in general, when I'm building this HMI tool, I think it's something that I need at the end of the day to give to users because that agent is how things will evolve slowly. Because I don't want to get into that mode of I'm making my own Figma and my own canvas. They've already solved that problem, so why not use them only?
No, I think the recent releases and updates what they have given us, that's particularly for enterprise, I guess. Like the slots.
Yeah, yeah,
The,
yeah. But yeah, but it's in beta. So you can
okay,
ask for
okay,
there's like a form. You can go online right now also and search for that form and then fill it out.
okay.
What I'm gonna do, I'm gonna text out these people and then go and meet them in person and then say, please give me this feature. I want this. Let's see. So, sorry to cut you here. Vishnu, where are you right now? In Rishabh, is it set up?
Yeah, it's set up. I can
Okay.
Uh,
start actually.
yeah, so
Sorry.
Vishnu, you can start. I'm still, yeah.
Use some VS Code.
Please.
Okay, great.
Rishabh, you can connect later. You, like if you want me to help you on installing
Sure,
all
sure.
this, it's a
Yeah.
good thing. Because I just did it like a month back, so I'm pretty sure it's going to be. Although I took some help from my IT infra teams.
Yeah, that,
But can you try running it on? Is there like an admin mode on Mac or or no? Like on Windows, when you
I
run command terminal, you can run it on administrator and then you have more permissions to make changes.
in order to install properly has to be an admin. You go to user groups in Mac, go to system settings, go to user, check what kind of user you are.
Okay. Can you Rishabh,
Then
can you present your screen? Let's just take like 5 more minutes and try to resolve this because then I think everybody we're like 3 4 people, right? So it's good to just be in sync, right? Vishnu, sorry, but like just give me like 5 minutes. We'll get back to this session.
Yeah, yeah.
yeah. Okay. So,
Meanwhile, Vishnu, can you sorry. Meanwhile, Vishnu, can you just
settings.
study
Sure.
the entire MD file that we've made and the folder so that you have some understanding of what exactly is the
Yeah,
each
download it.
agent about?
Download it. Click on download it.
Yeah.
okay.
But still saying that. Okay, you place the you click the command and place that in your command terminal, like the one which is suggested by the Claude Code.
Okay. So, let's try the code here. Uh, okay. Okay. It's
Paste that
over.
in your terminal.
Mhm. Please, no. Command and tools are already useful. Use software update in system settings or the software update command. System settings. Okay, use software updates in the system settings. Okay. It's
Yes.
necessary.
Even you can go and check the user groups as well.
In the settings itself,
Yeah, it's there, like below the touch. Yeah, go
user
to.
settings.
See, he's an admin, so he can install anything we want in the system.
What is this showing GitHub version when you run it? Git dash dash version. What does it say
It is
on
not
terminal? Terminal pay, can you run git dash dash git space dash dash version?
Best dashboard.
You do not have
You have not
Xcode
agreed.
or Apple SDK's license. Press enter to display the license. Can you press enter? What does it say? हाँ नीचे 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 क्या कह रहा है एकदम नीचे agreeing to this.
Please accept the Xcode license as the root user. So for Studio Code very license.
Did say क्या मतलब कि कुछ enter दबाने को बोल रहा है क्या कह रहा है
Enter the most.
or
No. You have to type zero code build slash license.
हो गया अब राइट या
export
नहीं
print
हुआ एक बार
access.
वापस करो git git dash dash version करो आया एक्सेप्ट तो कर दिया ना स्पेस dash dash version you've not agreed
Over here, up here, like in the end, it is showing agreeing to the Xcode and Apple SDK license requirement requires admin privileges. Please accept the Xcode license as the root user. Example, Studio Code build license. Pseudocode.
Okay,
Pseudocode.
I'll put it on GPT again. Run this. Yeah, I'm pasting this.
No, I was facing the same thing with like I used
Uh,
Claude to check what should I do? Can you help me with this? And it gave me something. I pasted here and I got it
okay.
running.
I
Ah,
pasted it on
it
here
in the chat.
the chat. Yes,
Sudo
yes.
Xcode. It was there, but what I was saying, see, in the Lord, it is saying Xcode dash select dash install. So can I run this one? But it is showing license. Okay, let
नहीं,
me
I
do
think
this.
इसमें once you run it, it's going to ask for your Mac का password. Yes, enter your password of Mac यहाँ पे.
Okay.
नहीं password दिख रहा
Mac
नहीं.
password because password is
Mac का password.
Mac का ही password है. It's good, but it is showing you not accurate. Okay.
अगली
Screenshot.
टाइप करना.
Not what's
I think you need to run it on administrative mode. That is where the problem is. Wait, how to run
Like
it here?
terminal or administrative.
Wait, I just हाँ terminal. What wait? Like in admin, uh, you want run command as admin by adding sudo before it. यही एंटर किया था क्या पहले? sudo xcode build license accept.
Sudo Xcode build.
ये accept के साथ एक बार एंटर करना.
See, maybe if it's
I think
wait,
no,
wait,
no probably.
wait. First, you have okay.
Agree,
Okay,
yes,
it is
agree,
showing by
agree,
typing agree or agree.
agree. Done.
Uh, any other response will cancel. Okay. You can review the license and for it applications.
Then try running this again. Git dash dash git space dash dash version.
Ah, it is there. Git version 2.50. Yeah.
Good job. Done. Sorted. Let's come back to
So
this.
now if I let's say we catch it again. I
Just
guess
try
now
it.
it is should
Just try
product
it.
thinking. Yeah.
Yeah, just try it. Well, that way you've already selected, right? That folder is already selected. Leave it. अभी
Yeah.
के लिए just type in what all you can do.
Okay. So I have to put my ideas. Yes.
नहीं, just write what can you do for me? What all you can do for
Okay.
me? Basic question.
Okay. Okay. That's it, or I have to mention
Yes,
this
yes.
folder.
Enter. नहीं चलेगा. Enter. So what it's doing is right now looking at your folder, understanding the entire structure of what all things are
Mhm.
there, agents, etc., so that you have better context, and it's going to show you what all it can do. So these are the agents that are designed. जो ऊपर दिखा रहा है skills, etc. So just put out a screenshot of ये जो there's a widget open here, right? ये इसका एक screenshot लेके जो ये picture in picture mode of what do you say, Google Meet, just click a photo of it and
Which
upload.
yeah,
No,
let's
no,
check
no,
this whole
this widget of Google Meet that is open on the right,
one.
just take a screenshot of this.
Okay, Google Meet screenshot.
Yes, Google Meet ka screenshot. Take a screenshot of it and then go to that plus wala symbol niche and then upload it there. Oh, it's yeah.
Okay.
Sorry, नेट चला गया था. 1 minute, guys. Not sure what yeah. Hmm. Yeah, so it's done, right? Huh. So just
Yeah,
just type
just
in
drag it.
just just type in how does this design look?
Yes.
ठीक है. So yeah, enter. So again, so what it's doing is it's running at PM mode for you,
Mhm.
so that you have an idea about what would a PM look at when they're doing this. So there are different systems that we've made. I'll present it once your output comes. So you see how it's pushing back, because at the end of the day, a lot of designs
Right,
that I
right.
talked about are
Yeah,
mostly
yeah, yeah.
focused on how does
Got
that
it.
design look like. So it's pushing back. So wait, let me present my screen and or wait, Vishnu, where are you right now?
I was setting up my this VS Code for the type.
Okay, okay. Do you want to present your screen and showcase like what like anything, or should I present my screen?
You present your screen because it's quite overwhelming for me right now.
Cool. ठीक है. No worries, guys. Here, have a look at this. I will show you what all things we have. Yes, Abhishek. Yeah.
Yeah, I just installed Claude Code. Should I add anything on it? Like, I just have to select the folder, right? Like the download and the branch.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Go here. Can you see my
yeah,
screen?
yeah.
Yeah. So just go here. Either you can set up like a cloud environment,
Okay,
or you can set up like a local system. I prefer local system. You can also set SSH host. So this
all
is
right.
how you use probably cursor. I'm not sure how you use cursor, but you can set up that
Yeah,
as well.
use in terminal. Yeah, similar.
Yeah.
We don't
So
use anything.
you have a folder here. Inside that you have like a selected folder of what exactly are you doing, and
Right.
then you have like the branch in which that you want to work on, and then of course like you can create like a subfolder as well if you want, but then it's not necessary.
And
Cool. 1 second. I don't know why this is happening. Yeah, cool. So anyway, because I've already selected this. Let me go ahead and talk to this. So last time I could use Whisperflow because I ran out of credits, but this week I've not used it specifically for this session. I'm going to use it here and see how it works. क्यों नहीं हो रहा है? Can you please, can you please, can you please have a look at what all system uh, is already built and let me know step by step what all things do I have to do. Specifically break down what type of agents do I have so that I can start having a conversation with them. Keep the message short and brief. Cool. So I will send this. So it's looking at the entire folder and then helping us out. What you can also do essentially is probably create like an interface as well if you're more comfortable working with an interface. And Claude Code will take what about 15 minutes to build an interface for you using this system, and then you can start working on it as well. So here are the 5 main commands that are there, which probably everybody else can use. So I'm going to use out this problem framer. Okay. And I'm going to say uh, I am 1 second. I'm trying to solve a problem for Osiflow HMI, specifically trying to create a design system for it. The brief is to create a system so that everybody else can have a look at it and probably start using it. I am creating the system uh, for universal robots, which means that the entire design system should be usable for different types of interfaces. The goal is to create the system in the next 2 days. What do you think should be my approach? So I've given it a basic brief of how I want things to work like, but then again, it's like a problem framer, right? So what it's doing is it's understanding what my problem statement is, and it's going to help me out uh, framing this problem better. So uh, that's the whole point. Here's the question. So what you can do is you can start answering those questions, and it will help you out. There are also sessions in this, like I said. So suppose, for example, you start a new session altogether by going here, starting a new session. It will have some context saved in the memory what all you've done. There are also agents. So for example, if you want to use an agent, I'll paste it here. No, not this one. Wait, I'll, I'll put out a product strategist, and I will say I I need help of product strategist to help me figure out how do I go about creating Osiflow HMI in such a way that it is useful for people in USA, having tablet design interfaces for robotic systems. The goal is to launch in the next 1 month and have a design system ready for them to use. So what it's going to do, it's going to talk about category level product strategies. And yes, so you see this skill. So what I've done is, oh, by the way, I'm not sure if I told you all this. So while that is running in the background, you can also come here, you can use Gstack. This is something that I use every day. So for example, I don't want to spoil my already like whatever is going on in the Gstack, but you can come here, you can use office hours here. So office hours is basically how CEOs basically interact with these systems. It's like the inbuilt brain of this thing altogether. So yeah, I mean, it's running that skill. You can set up multiple systems to work together. Um, if you have a problem statement that you want to figure out, or if there's a recent feature that you've already built, I think you should test it out and use this along with that so that you can think about it from the PM's perspective as well. What you can also do is you can, so for example, like you said that like you guys are working in B2B, right? Mainly. So when you're working in B2B, there are very specific things that are required in that. So you can add those as well in the entire project folder system, so that you can, build further. I will just open this 1 second. Give me like a second here.
Yeah. It's uh,
Yeah,
I
yeah,
have
please.
one doubt. Like, if I'm so instead of doing like dot identify, like adding this skill or something, if I convert the whole design system of mine as dot ND, I update it. I can build whatever I want with mimics that same tokens and same components and same output, right? Like as a production ready output.
Yeah. So are you talking about design MD file for design systems, or you're talking about something else?
I think talking about something like this, like if you add that one along with another package of like you have thought of
So for example, these are all your metrics that you're trying to track. These are all the features that you built, and over time you must have taken some decisions that you want to build, right? The thing is, how do you create this architecture so that your Claude file understands, or your Claude system, you can say, understands this is what makes all the difference here. Because at the end of the day, what you'll be having are multiple conversations, right? So the moment you have one conversation, this architecture will define how many tokens are being used. uh, you can't go in or like, so a very basic thing that usually everybody does, that I also did initially, was that I was calling everything to this. For every conversation, everything was being called, but then the game is to optimize this architecture in such a way so that only specific things are being brought up at specific points of time. I'm going to show you here how I built these sessions. If you look at this session, actually you can open it on Git as well. 1 second, I'll show you on Git only. Here. So you see here what all things are to be saved. This is how you optimize things.
got it, got it, got it.
Otherwise, if you create like a whole system, you would be ending up like, because it'll be a lot of things to read. So you have to just optimize this. You have to optimize different files specifically of memory as well. What all you want to save in that memory. This is like the main file. Cool.
So if I'm adding more information, more tokens, it burns and the output
It
is
burns
also.
tokens. Yes,
Yeah.
yes, it burns tokens like anything. Your
I
entire thing
thought
will be
this effective would be on initial one, like it won't burn it like every time it won't run through whole thing. Just uses the I don't know what it's called. Is it a skill or something like
That
you put the
every
tokens
function
here,
can
add it
what.
here, then every time you type something, there will be less number of tokens point or something. I don't know.
Yeah, must be a skill only. Like these are different skills that you can call. So
Skills, yeah, yeah, yeah.
office hours is a skill that I've called here. So it's
Okay.
thinking about
So this main thing is to reduce the token burnings and you can clear the navigate
definitely.
clear the like what needs to be done. One, sure, sure, sure. Thank you.
Definitely. And also, since we are on the topic of product thinking, I have an interesting video that you can have a look at. It's a very recent video released just a day ago by Y Combinator. I will put out the link of that here as well. Specifically, what I'm talking about is this. Can you see my screen?
Yeah, 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 yeah.
You can, right? So,
Yeah.
specifically, what I am talking about is here, this. So this is an interesting thing. So what this guy is talking about here is he's trying to showcase how do you actually build like a company using AI. And this is where the magic happens in product thinking, I believe. So you have some sensors, you have some data. Basically, how you are using a feature, how users are using a feature, how they're building things. You have a policy layer, you have a tool layer, quality gates, etc. These are all the inbuilt like design and dev tools that are there, etc. Don't pay attention to this. Specifically for product thinking, what is important is this learning mechanism, and then learning from it, and then improving your sensors and data. So every time you write a prompt, for example, whatever system you built, you want your system to understand you much better, because you want to work in a certain way, right? And the system exactly doesn't understand, because it makes a lot of assumptions here, left, center, and right. So what you need to do is like build in these learning mechanisms so that it understands. The example of this again in this is the sessions feedback that you saw, the memory feedback that you saw here. This is like the feedback thing. So that's how it sort of keeps evolving over time and understands you much better. Cool, but have a look at this video. This is a very fascinating video of how this guy is talking about every word in this entire thing that he has talked about is so fascinating, because what he's trying to do is trying to convince you that uh, at the end of the day, if you're building a company today, you want to have AI in built in every stage, so that AI works alongside you and not just is like a tool that you use to push things forward.
Got it.
A very
Got it.
very fascinating video. Cool. Yeah, so this was like the brief of how things should work, etc. in this. I also want to showcase one more thing, which is basically how what all resources I found out. One of them is this. I will put out a link of this as well. 1 minute. It is opening up. This link is basically how you, these are like different repositories that I found to be helpful. When you're making a pivot to product management, this is a sort of like a timeless sort of a thing that people have built that they're using. Um, it's not important for you to, of course, like use it right away, but it's like a timeless sort of a thing that is there. So, yeah, 1 second, I will just find it. Yeah, here's the link, putting it on chat. So this is a very good tool for product thinking, product management, if you're ever thinking of like making like a pivot. Uh, Other than that, there is also one more tool, Awesome Product Manager. This is one of the most like uh, sort of tools or whatever you want to call it. And it has a lot of stars also. Also, yeah, the repository that I shared, if you could just star it, I think that will help me out as well. The repository that I shared with you of Osiflow. Yeah, so this is awesome product management. This is also a very good sort of a tool, and these are product manager skills. These are also very good. I've used it a couple of times, not uh, a lot, because I think I've stuck more around with Office Hours and GStack for now. But this is definitely something that probably you can use as well, if you want different skills. And again, this is much more liked than the previous one. This is one of the most famous ones uh, that there is. Posting the link of this as well here.
So not in those things.
Yeah, it's on chat. You can have a look at it.
So you just have to fork this particular
If
GitHub
you
repo
want, if you
and
want
if you
updates,
can,
then yeah, if you
yeah,
want
yeah,
updates, then fork it. Otherwise, just download the zip and then work with it.
yeah. So you download it in your local, push it in Claude Code or anywhere in Claude, and you can ask questions based on it, and it will make sure that it provides you prompt answer how it has been defined in speed.
Yes, yes to everything. Yeah. So essentially, what you want to do as like when you're thinking about the like specifically talking about product management and product thinking in general
Yeah,
is
yeah.
what you want to do is you want to have something as a co-pilot with you so that it sort of influences you to think in product language slowly.
Mhm,
It
mhm,
pushes you back so that the loop that you had with your product manager
mhm.
reduces. Like the number of loops that you had with your product manager, the reviews that you have with your product manager, it reduces. And essentially, I think everybody is also talking about this, which is when you're looking at these systems, you're trying to understand how all these roles are merging. um, because at the end of the day, product managers are also doing the same thing, developers are also doing the same thing, designers are also doing the same thing, more or less, and now everything is like merging into one field altogether, right? So it's a good time to like think about all these skills specifically.
Yeah, we have this way of like getting in, going in ID, learning how to develop. But this is also a good thing.
Yeah, yeah,
So that we
i believe
push
i
back
believe
to where it's
yeah, I believe test it out. Like the more you test it out, the more you learn from all these things. That's
going
how
through
I've
this
learned.
today.
Yeah, yeah,
I'm
it's
convinced
fine. I
to
mean,
do
it's
this.
never too late. That's what I was talking about in my Instagram story as well, right? The first thing that I thought was instead of like just pushing out what event is happening, etc. I wanted to say that everybody is just shouting out loud. It's so stupid. Random people are making a random build. I build this, I build that, X, Y, Z, and see how my hand tracks, and then uh, uh,
Yeah, exactly.
it doesn't make sense. Like those are not things that you want to
Right.
do
Like
practically.
every time I'm like every time I see anything like this, I'm like, what's the use?
Yeah, it doesn't make sense to be honest.
I was getting this more for a long time. Like I'm not doing anything better. Like it's just me
Yeah,
who's lagging behind, and everyone is running. What do you say?
yeah,
Like achieve something. And I'm still
yeah,
in work, still doing it further. I'm just feeling that way. Like, it's been there for me for some time. When you get into the weeds of it, like you see, I mean, there is a lot of things which they no, and like I'm just feeling that way every time we go to LinkedIn. Some designer will say like, our team just killed Figma. We are never going to use that again.
yeah. It
He
doesn't
just
make
goes to
sense.
the. It's like
It's just
get
to
rid of
trap your attention. It's just to trap
yeah,
your attention, and that's what I hate about Instagram. That's why I stopped making reels as well. I don't
yeah,
want to get into that stupid mode of just using bait to get grab your attention for 30 seconds and then just let things be.
yeah.
Sorry,
I just
Vishnu, where are you right now? You're feeling overwhelmed. Are you okay? Were you able to
Yeah,
use
yeah,
it?
yeah. I'm just figuring out. So the main problem I ran into that my VS Code is not connected with my this GitHub.
Okay.
So I will after this call I will just figure out how I can connect with local files and all that, and then get those in my repository and then get started.
Okay. Do you want us to help you out on the call itself? At least I can help. I
No,
don't
I
think.
want to try it, get it wrong, and then I want to take it. First, let me
Okay.
try.
Okay. Yeah. 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 Definitely. And about those skills, did you try that folder running it on Claude Code?
No, no, no. Claude Code also needs that connection with GitHub. Actually, it's not yet connected.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah,
Okay. Yeah. I
I'll
mean,
do
let
that
me know
after
if
this call.
yeah. Let me know if you're stuck somewhere. I have to go somewhere at like I have to be there at 3. But then
Yeah,
towards the evening, if you want, we can get back on a call and if you want to talk
awesome.
about it or something, let me know.
Yeah, that works. Yeah,
Cool.
let me just do
For
it once myself.
yeah, just want everyone to like feel settled with this. Don't feel
Yeah,
overwhelmed
yeah.
with this.
I have everything updated. Like my Git, I have my. I have just got Claude Code. I don't know what I'm doing, but I'm just updated the folder into it as something
Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. Just play around with it as long as it's happening locally and it's safe. That's the only
local
thing that
extension.
matters.
So
Yeah. Cool. Just guys, again, just iterating again. If you have any questions, if you have anything, please let me know. I'm here to solve your problems. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Yes.
Cool. I think that's about it. I would say from my
one
end.
more question.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
have
yeah,
one more question. Like, how would
yeah.
you pull that specific skill from the folder? Like, whenever uh, you you did something, right? Like I missed it or something. Whenever you update a folder there, you add this dash dash office hours or something. Like you should.
No, it's just slash, no? Just slash then
Okay.
product or slash
Oh,
then office hours.
Slash
oh,
for
okay, okay.
commands. Okay.
Yeah, slash for
Is it inbuilt stuff or is it just from the particular folder which you have uploaded? So if you put the slash, I'm
No,
seeing a
it's
lot
from
of
the it's from the folder as well as what skills you've installed in Claude itself. So at the end of the day, you could come here. You can see different skills that you've installed.
got
Yeah,
it.
you can install as many skills as you like. So for example, when you go to that product manager skills
Yeah,
git repo git repo here,
yeah,
this one. If you find something that you think is extremely useful and you want to use it specifically and you've tried it out, uh, get
got
that
it,
skill
got it,
and put it here so that no matter when you are like using, you can call in the skill. Also, it is important for you to, in my assumption, so far from what I've tested, it is important to understand what skills to call when, but you can always ask Claude what to do.
got it, got it.
The only thing is it'll eat up tokens to just think about it, but
Got
not that many tokens. But then again, it's better to know what to call and where.
got it.
Cool. Yeah, that's about it, guys. Thank you. Is there anyone who's stuck in anything? Do you want to discuss anything? We can also have like an open session if you want. No?
Not yet. I would like to fail first and then then ask for help.
No, that's very good, dude. You learn a lot by doing that.